Driving check
cut off the bus. The bus driver swerved trying to avoid it, but the bus slammed into the guardrail, sat suspended for a few seconds, and nosedived off the elevated freeway.
The bus, it hit on the front and on the top, and certainly those people on the front of the bus sustained the most serious injuries.
It's been a bad ride. Many family and friends were frantic. They rushed from one hospital to another trying to find their loved one, but the hospitals couldn't help them. Many of the most injured students couldn't speak and carried no identification.
In some cases, we don't know who the children are, and that's got to be very frustrating as a parent.
The bus driver, who survived, apparently just had no place to go, squeezed between another driver who got too close and the guardrail of an overpass.
Police here now believe the driver of that compact car was another student from the same high school who was actually following the bus to the technical center. What's unclear at this point is whether moments before the crash, did the compact car actually hit the bus or just come close to hitting the bus. Either way, Katie, there was a deadly mistake.
Mark Strassman in Huntsville, Alabama tonight. That school bus did not have seatbelts. In fact, most school buses don't. And no one is saying at this point whether seatbelts might have saved lives or prevented any of the injuries in this crash. But it does raise an important safety question. Here's Lee Cowan.
Big or small, when a school bus accident happens, you hear about it. And with almost every one of those accidents comes the very same question. Why aren't seatbelts required? Take just one look at this school bus rollover in Ohio. And their need seems painfully obvious. 5 states mandate safety belts be installed on new school buses, and none of the laws require students to buckle up. Why? In part, it's the numbers. With just 6 deaths for every 24 million riders, school buses are already the safest form of transportation around. And experts say adding the seatbelts won't necessarily make them any safer. Crash tests show that school buses react differently than a car during an accident. The government says the best protection here is the padding on the back of bus seats, which creates a protective envelope for the student called compartmentalization.
And they actually tested lap belts, lap shoulder belts, other means of restraining passengers, and still felt compartmentalization does the job.
That's a relief to school buses who say the cost of installing seatbelts could be as high as $6,000 per bus. But with an estimated 17,000 students injured every year in bus-related accidents, the debate certainly isn't going away. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Dallas.
We told you last week that the prospect of a new book by O.J. Simpson about his notorious murder case and a Fox TV special to go with it was not worth our time or yours. Today, News Corporation Chairman Rupert Murdoch apparently agreed. He pulled the plug after viewers revolted, some of his big-name anchors revolted, and Fox affiliates revolted against what everyone decided was a pretty revolting idea. Here's Sandra Hughes.
I don't think any 2 people could be murdered without everybody being covered in blood.
Crushed under relentless criticism for its plans to air O.J. Simpson's confession, Today News Corporation caved, saying it would cancel the deal for a 2-part TV special and a book called If I Did It. In the book, Simpson was to describe how he would have committed the murders of his ex-wife and her friend Ron Goldman. Last week, Fred Goldman was furious.
What is Fox going to do next? They're going to have a weekly show airing various murders around the country, telling the world how they would do it?
We caught up with Fred Goldman after today's announcement.
And I'm thrilled that the American public forced them to do what was right.
Not guilty. Acquitted of the murders, Simpson was found responsible in civil court. But because of double jeopardy, Simpson can't be retried. Still, when Fox started to promote the supposed confession on its website, outrage started building. About a dozen local Fox stations decided to pull the plug on the TV specials. Borders Books decided to donate profits from the book to charity. On Face the Nation, Bob Schieffer articulated what many Americans were feeling.
This one is more than wrong. It is just awful.
Employees at News Corporation, which owns Fox News, agreed. And Fox's biggest star, Bill O'Reilly, said, "I'm not going to watch The Simpsons Show or even look at the book. If any company sponsors the TV program, I will not buy anything that company sells, ever." Geraldo Rivera said, "I will bash this project every minute I have the opportunity to bash this project." The piling on was too much, even for Fox.
The powers that be at News Corp calculated what they could stand to make on this project and how much they stood to lose in terms of face and in terms of credibility, and decided that whatever they might make on it wasn't worth it.
While News Corp has apologized to both the Brown and Goldman families, it may come a little late. Ron Goldman's sister Kim tells me tonight a version of the book has already been leaked, and she believes Simpson got his paycheck of $3.5 million. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Our other big story tonight, Iraq, where suddenly there's no shortage of ideas for ending the chaos there. Today, 2 of Iraq's neighbors stepped up with plans of their own. Elizabeth Palmer has the very latest from Baghdad.
There are reports tonight that Iran has invited the presidents of Iraq and Syria to a summit to discuss the situation in Iraq, although it's not clear when the meeting might be or who would attend. But what is certain is that a pledge of help has come to the increasingly desperate Iraqi government directly from the Syrians, and it's considered a diplomatic breakthrough. Although neighbors, the 2 countries haven't had formal ties for 24 years. Walid Muallim called for a timetable for America's troops to withdraw from Iraq. It would, he said, help reduce violence and preserve security. The Syrians are plainly worried that escalating violence here could spill over their borders, along with a flood of Iraqi refugees. Clearly, neither Iraq nor the United States would have called Syria an ally until now. But it's safe to say a significant diplomatic event took place in Baghdad today, especially if Syria gets serious about choking off the flow of hundreds of insurgent fighters that cross its borders into Iraq. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, Baghdad.
U.S. military planners are reportedly studying 3 possible strategies for Iraq with nicknames that sound like a football playbook. Go big, go long, or go home. President Bush, who returned today from Asia, says he hasn't made up his mind about those plans. Here's our national security correspondent, David Martin.
Robert Gates spent the day shuttling between Capitol Hill and the White House, where he was later joined by Donald Rumsfeld. Both the incoming and outgoing defense secretaries are focused on coming up with a new Iraq strategy. A team of military advisors has developed one option, which includes a temporary troop buildup as prelude to the start of a withdrawal. A measure of the quandary the Bush administration faces, that was rejected just last week by the top military commander for Iraq.
I do not believe that more American troops right now is the solution to the problem.
General John Abizaid said putting in another 20,000 American troops would keep a tighter lid on the violence, but it would undermine the strategy of turning over the fighting to Iraqis. What he really needs, Abizaid said, is more American trainers to build up Iraqi forces. That option is nicknamed Go Long, as in U.S. troops will be there for a long time. Other options look more like straw men. Go Big, a massive buildup to crush the insurgency. That is considered both militarily and politically impractical. Go Home, a relatively quick withdrawal, which most experts believe would end any chance of saving Iraq.
So far, the only practical new option is a diplomatic one. Begin talks with Iran and Syria. Katie?
Meanwhile, David, I know that Henry Kissinger weighed in on the BBC today, and he wasn't very optimistic either, was he?
He says that victory, a clear military victory, is now impossible. And the point he's making is that if the Iraqi government doesn't get its act together, there's nothing the U.S. military can do to stave off a disaster in Iraq.
David Martin at the Pentagon tonight. Thank you. Thomas Friedman is the Pulitzer Prize-winning foreign affairs columnist for the New York Times and the author most recently of The World is Flat. Tom, why would Iran's president do this right now? What's in it for him?
I think 2 things are probably motivating him, Katie. One is a desire just to steal a march on the United States. It's Iran's way of saying, this is our neighborhood. We are the regional superpower. And if anyone's going to have a peace conference around here about Iraq, we'll convene it, number one. But number 2, I think the Iranians may have gotten the message that there is a growing movement in this country just to pull out of Iraq. And if that happens, Iran will become the de facto winner of Iraq.
But can any good come from this conference, this regional meeting?
I don't think any regional meeting is going to work if all the key players are not represented, Katie. That's Iran, that's Saudi Arabia, that's Jordan, that's Syria, that's Turkey, and it's the United States as well as the Iraqi government.
And do you think this really might develop a solution for the situation over there?
Well, I'm rather despondent that anything can really solve the situation in Iraq right now, Katie. You know, Iraq is so broken, Katie, that it can't even have a proper civil war. It's so broken. You know, to have a proper civil war, you need two sides, basically. There are now 15 sides there.
But, Tom, it can't go on like this indefinitely, can it?
No, it can't go on like this indefinitely. Our choice in Iraq is this, Katie: 10 weeks or 10 years. That is, either we are going to conclude that this thing is so broken and therefore we're just going to have to get out, or we're going to say this thing is so broken we basically have to start over. And that is a 10-year project. Because the idea that there's some kind of middle ground where we kind of stand up the Iraqi army and then we kind of quietly leave, I think that's an illusion.
Tom Friedman of the New York Times. Tom, thank you.
Pleasure.
And there's much more CBS News straight ahead. Coming up next, it took 12 surgeons 10 hours in 6 operating rooms to make medical history on 5 patients. We'll tell you all about it. And an act of contrition from Seinfeld's Kramer. We'll hear from him exclusively later in our broadcast.
Harry is a scratcher who keeps getting scratched. He needs maximum strength Scalpicin, not a shampoo. Its clear formula stops scratching with the itch medicine dermatologists recommend. Maximum strength Scalpicin, the clear solution to a healthier scalp.
When you're on the go, a dead battery's a big deal. You need Pocket Power, the portable, rechargeable outlet in your pocket. It's the power to travel, exclusively at Sam's Club.
I had a lady and her daughter come in, kind of panicked. She was from out of town visiting her grandchildren. She left her blood pressure medication at home. I said, don't worry. We're going to take care of you. Just have a seat. So we called her pharmacy back home to transfer her prescriptions for her. And then we also called her insurance company to make sure that she wouldn't have to pay any extra. And it made us feel good to see her leave the pharmacy and to know that she could enjoy her daughter and her grandchildren. My name is Melvin Smith, and I'm a CVS pharmacist.
Wherever good can overcome, that is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
I've studied the human heart for a lifetime, and there's something you should know.
Inventor of the Jarvik artificial heart, Dr. Robert Jarvik.
High cholesterol can lead to heart disease. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor lowers bad cholesterol 39 to 60%. And Lipitor is clinically proven to reduce your risk of heart attack and your risk of stroke if you have several common risk factors for heart disease. The more we learn about Lipitor, the more impressed I am. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you're taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. They may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Lipitor is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. Could you be doing more with Lipitor? Ask your doctor.
Visit Lipitor.com for a free trial.
A huge medical story tonight. A team of surgeons has made history with the first ever 5-way kidney swap. It's a remarkable story, and Sharon Alfonsi tells it in tonight's Eye on Medicine.
This is the story of 5 people who needed kidney transplants. 4 of them had a family member willing to donate one, but none were a good match. Then a woman named Honey, who just wanted to help, came along. So doctors reshuffled the deck, mixing and matching those who needed a new kidney and those willing to give one. A 5-way kidney swap among strangers.
Christine, you got
Honey's kidneys, but you did not know Honey.
Right.
And then Florence, you gave your kidney to George.
To Lonnie.
To Lonnie. This is confusing,
yes?
It is. Think that's confusing? Consider this. The doctors that paired the couples up performed all 10 surgeries on the same day in the same hospital. Did you feel like John Madden on game day, moving different people, different places?
Yeah, no, that's a great analogy. It was a lot like that.
Dr. Robert Montgomery led the team of 12 surgeons, 11 anesthesiologists, and 18 nurses at Johns Hopkins Hospital through a surgical square dance, swapping and transplanting with dizzying precision. The quick tempo, a nice change for patients like Christine Jancy, one of nearly 70,000 people on the national donor waiting list.
And you think, okay, at the worst case scenario, it'll be 2 years or 3 years.
And how long has it been for you?
12.
12 years you waited. Doctors say these paired exchanges save time and lives, but they've only performed about 100 of them nationwide because they might be illegal. A federal law says you can't receive something for donating an organ.
It's an absurdity. It needs to be clarified.
Doctors are hoping Congress will clarify it soon. Clarifying who ended up with whose kidney here could take a lifetime. Fortunately, these strangers now have one. Sharon Alfonsi, CBS News, Baltimore.
And just ahead here on the CBS Evening News, Seinfeld and Kramer together again, but this time no one is laughing. An exclusive look at their response to a rage on stage.
I try to do whatever I can to take care of my health. It's a very big part of who I am. So when I found out I had osteoporosis, I knew I had to meet it head on. Then my doctor told me about Boniva, how it helps build strong, healthy bones to prevent fractures with just 1 pill a month. And I thought, hey, I can do this. Unlike other treatments you have to take once a week, I only need Boniva once a month.
You should not take Boniva if you have low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or cannot sit or stand for at least 60 minutes. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you experience difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
If you're as determined as I am to have strong, healthy bones, don't wait. Ask your doctor if Boniva is right for you. I'm so glad I did.
Once monthly Boniva. There's only one. Ask your doctor for a free trial offer or call 1-800-4-BONIVA.
What are you, decoration?
No, I'm a package. Gifts, actually.
So why are you up on the porch?
Well, if you have to know, Mrs. Johnson's very busy, so she put me out here.
Earth's the package. That porch is not the post office.
Au contraire, my plastic friend.
That's fine, whatever. Hey, go. My place is here with the snow people.
Even during the holidays, the post office comes to you with free package pickup.
When kids get creative,
Girls,
we all get to clean up.
we made you a birthday thing.
So get Bounty. It's got reinforced quilts. You can rinse, wring, and reopen. It's so durable. One sheet keeps working till the whole job's done.
Come on, it's a big surprise.
Sure is. We're telling the world it's our 40th birthday, too. And we're celebrating by giving to these charities.
The Lexus RX, with vehicle stability control, helps maintain traction to keep you on the road. So nothing else has to. At Lexus of Portland.
Well, another Hollywood celebrity has been forced to make an apology for saying something offensive in public. This time, it's a famous sitcom star, and we have an exclusive preview of that apology. During a performance at a comedy club in Los Angeles last Friday, Seinfeld's Kramer, Michael Richards, was heckled by an African-American in the audience. His response was anything but funny, a racist tirade complete with the N-word. Late today, Jerry Seinfeld appeared on a taping of The Late Show with David Letterman to be broadcast tonight and arranged for Michael Richards to be on as well.
You know, I was extremely upset about it, and he is extremely upset about it, and I asked him if he would come on the show tonight.
I lost my temper on stage. I was at a comedy club trying to do my act, and I got heckled, and I took it badly and went into a rage.
For me to be in a comedy club and flip out and say this crap, you know, I'm deeply, deeply sorry. I'm not a racist. That's what's so insane about this.
I know how shattered he is about this, and he deserves a chance. That's why I wanted him to come on. He deserves a chance to apologize.
There is much more of David's conversation with Jerry Seinfeld and Michael Richards tonight on The Late Show, of course, here on CBS. Meanwhile, coming up next on the CBS Evening News, reinventing the circle, a unique way of helping others that is spreading all across the country.
2,000 years ago, they probably never imagined people would be going past this at 50 kilometers per hour. Just like we probably can't predict what we'll be driving in the future. That's why we're developing thermoplastic car body parts that are lightweight and highly impact resistant. Not to mention recyclable, so we can keep things moving forward. I'm Marina Anglani, and I work for ExxonMobil.
Ellen McCarthy can't afford her medication, so Merck sends it directly to her home, free. Call 1-800-50-MERC or visit merckhelps.com for a list of Merck medicines and eligibility requirements. Merck, where patients come first.
When you're on the go, a dead battery's a big deal. You need Pocket Power, the portable, rechargeable outlet in your pocket. It's the power to travel, exclusively at Sam's Club.
Someone you love may be a numismatist. It's true. Millions collect coins. It's the rush they get collecting something worthwhile. But they need your help. Give them genuine coins from the United States Mint. Polished, radiant, irresistible. Your gift will make a difference for generations to come. Visit usmint.gov. United States Mint. Genuinely worthwhile.
If you have a history of smoking and breathing problems, it could be COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Discover Spiriva, the only once-daily inhaled maintenance prescription treatment for COPD. Spiriva keeps airways open to help you breathe better for a full 24 hours. And it's not a steroid. Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor about your medicines, including eye drops and illnesses like glaucoma, urinary, and prostate problems. These may worsen with Spiriva. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Others include constipation and problems passing urine. If you have vision changes or eye pain, your breathing suddenly worsens, you get hives, or your throat or tongue swells, stop taking Spiriva and contact your doctor. Spiriva is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. So make a habit of breathing better with Spiriva.
Tomorrow, you've heard about the big screen's young starlets dying to be thin? Think they're getting skinny on their own? Not so fast. Now you're going to hear about Hollywood's dirty little secret on The Early Show.
We're all looking forward this week to Thanksgiving. I know I am. A holiday which, if you think about it, really has two parts. Thanks, the gratitude we show for what we have, and giving, the sharing of what we have. So in the spirit of the season, we'll be introducing you this week to people who have discovered the joy of giving and new ways of doing so. Kelly Kobe begins our special series we're calling Giving Back.
When I first started working here, it's the first thing I tried.
Teresa Dean never thought she'd have a job.
You're welcome.
Not because she didn't want one. She just couldn't imagine her life being that good.
I don't think I pictured anything positive or happy. I just pictured myself as like, you know, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to be for the rest of my life.
Let's play the pet naming game.
She was pregnant at 16 and just 6 months ago, homeless in Austin, Texas with a son to feed. But instead of handouts, she got a hand up. Well, about 100 hands, really, from women like Rebecca Powers, living in the same city, but a different world.
We did a lot in our schools and in the church, but we didn't ever think about how we might participate in
in our town.
So over coffee, Rebecca and her friends decided to try a new take on the old-fashioned sewing circle, a giving circle. Ask each of their friends and their friends' friends to donate $1,000, and when the pot reaches $100,000, they'd all get a vote on where the money goes. That kind of grassroots giving is growing. More than 400 giving circles have sprouted across the country, with women raising anywhere from a few $100s to hundreds of thousands.
An invitation to the party of philanthropy.
Cincinnati mom Wendy Steele saw the potential 5 years ago and began recruiting busy moms and working women who couldn't afford to volunteer.
I tried to find a way for them to get involved without giving their most precious commodity, their time.
The Austin Group's first grant helped fund a work training program for at-risk youth. Their circle has grown to more than 300 women, and recruiting is as easy as a trip to the ice cream shop.
We can see the face of the people that we're helping. We can go into Ben & Jerry's, and the kids behind that counter are there because our money is paying their salaries. That's powerful.
Today, Teresa has an apartment, a paycheck, and pride.
The first thing I did was take my son out and bought him shoes and clothes. It was lovely.
And that hand up has created something else.
Every time I'm on the street, if somebody asks me for some change, I'm going to give what I have. Even if it's the last dollar in my pocket, I'm going to give it to them because I've been there before and I know how it feels.
The giving circle keeps giving. Kelly Kobiella, CBS News, Austin.
And tomorrow night, we're going to tell you about a growing trend in giving. People who see their donations not only as gifts, but actually as investments. That's the CBS Evening News for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.
Fixing your aching back. Should you have surgery? Tomorrow, important results of a major new study. Eye on Medicine on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric. See it now. CBS News. See it now, anytime, anywhere.